Got Lynn with me today, and we're going to be doing a bunch of movements just to see if we can spot any weaknesses or imbalances. Just to see. You were mentioning earlier to me that you had a little niggle or pull in the back. Do you want to just maybe
so it's just above the waistline, mainly on the right hand side, almost in the ribs. Just goes into almost like a cramp or a spasm, particularly when I'm stretching or sometimes with leg work.
Okay, and then you went on to also just say, I battle with this concept of neutral pelvis, and you know, it's so funny that you mentioned that straight away, because as soon as you said I got this pain randomly here in my, I thought we need to make sure you're not rib flaring and that your pelvis knows where neutral is.
Interesting.
So like the pieces of the puzzle are already maybe falling together in place, and I do think that that could be.
And I'm quite new to Pilates, which I have to say I just love it, but growing up, doing exercise, working in the gym, it's drummed into you, tilt your pelvis, and then suddenly you're having to do a different way.
Find yourself in space.
Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, so it is definitely a concept of trying to figure out where must the bones stack, and is it always a big deal, or sometimes it's a big deal, because we do put emphasis on it.
Yes.
And I think that it can create uncertainty for clients when they're like, you're speaking about this thing.
Absolutely,
and I don't know what it is.
There's a lot to think about when you're working in a class and you're doing leg work, but actually you need to make sure your pelvis is right, your shoulders are right, your arms are working. So there's a lot going on. So, you know, little constant reminders, make sure you've got this, make sure you've got that, is really helpful.
And the fact that the body has to go into multiple postures and positions, different shapes, but that there's neutral for each one of them, and it has to recalibrate, because neutral when you're on your back isn't the same as it doesn't feel the same as neutral when you're on your hands and your knees.
Right. Okay.
So let's start sitting facing forward. So we're going to be square. All right. And I want you to put your hands on your hip bones. Okay. So in that position, you can feel that they're knobbly bits on the front of the pelvis.
Sure.
And that those are aiming, because you're seated, forward. And because you're seated, they're probably similar heights.
Yes.
In some people, they might actually land up on one bum cheek more than the other bum cheek, or they have a scoliosis, or so they do have some kind of a height difference, but you should be fine.
Yes.
So we haven't got any kind of compensations in the ankles, the legs, or the leg length affecting us. And let's assume that your waistlines are even and not hijacking one pelvis height. So those headlamps, if you imagine that you got lights on them, are shining forward.
Yes.
That's the base of your box. And then on your shoulders, you'll have two more lights that shine forward, and that's the top of your box.
Okay.
So in Pilates, you want to assess if your box is always perfectly square.
Okay.
And so that you're not shrugging a shoulder down or a hip up. And then you've got the concept of neutral pelvis. So if your hands on your pelvis now were like hands around a bucket, you could tip your bucket forward and pour the contents forward over your lap, or you could tilt it back and pour the contents back. Gotcha. Somewhere in between is where we want to be when you're sitting.
Okay.
Now that your pelvis feels in neutral, and when you're sitting there, you'll feel from pillar to post, so in your nethers, you're connected to the ground.
Yes.
You're on the entire panty liner. Right? So that's neutral. But now I get to assess, what is your spine doing? Because I can only truly look at it if I know that you are in neutral. Let's go out of neutral, go into a posterior pelvic tilt, so do the other way. And if I were to say, oh, look, you've got such a flat spine, well, I'm like really assessing something.
That's not there.
I haven't calibrated this.
Sure.
So go into neutral, and then I get to look. And already I can see you pitch slightly forward.
Okay.
So if I keep my hands on the bones of your lower back, then I would try and rugby tackle you to live further back. How does that feel? It's going to cramp.
Yeah. No, that's good.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's where the rib cage should live.
Okay. So that's quite more upright than my natural place.
Well, so I think when you get your pelvis right, it's quite difficult to know what you do every time a coconut, but today you were sort of more forward. I can feel
so
that then when I go, come back into my hand a bit by pulling that, you don't have to go too far. It's just this little nip in here. Then that's going to change how this low back feels. We're in neutral pelvis, and then I'm going to look at the bones of the low back, and I want a little dent in, and I need a roundness. So there's a natural curve in the spine, and we want that. So belly button pushes slightly forward. You're going to like stick out your belly button for me. Yes. So you can feel the fillets are on now.
Yes.
And you feel they're engaged.
Yes.
There's a discrepancy in size of your fillets.
Ah.
So that's also good to recognize.
Yes.
So we've got what feels like a broader fillet on the right and a narrow one on the left.
That's where it's tight.
And then you are actually, your shoulder on the left is lower.
Lower.
So when you feel discomfort and stabbing on one side, or when you feel this, let's rather say not the discomfort and the stabbing, but when you feel the thickness on one side, you assume that this is the tight, stiff side.
Right.
Because it's bigger.
Yeah.
But actually, with the spine, often the tight that's tighter is scrumpled into a smaller ball. Think about a ball of paper. The tighter one is the smaller ball.
Okay.
The looser one is the bigger ball. So that's what I'm seeing here, is that this is probably the tight side, and this one's paying the price of this one's ass.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
So when we put you into neutral like we did now, which was we stuck out your belly button, and then I asked you to keep your ribs living back. So that's cool because we want this roundness. Yeah. If you lift your ribs and you get too straight, you're going to overarch, and now we have no natural curve. So that's, yeah, we've got to have the ribs in and the belly button forward on your, okay. That's your neutral in sitting. You're going to bend the knees. Right, so neutral pelvis, that's where we start. So we can't assess the spine unless we've assessed the pelvis. You're going to take the heels of your hands and put them on your hip bones, middle fingers in towards your pubic bone. Play around with dropping the pubic bone between the thighs to look for an excessive anterior pelvic tilt. So you overarch and you go even bigger. There's it. And then you're going to go into a posterior pelvic tilt, and then middle ground, you go in the middle.
Yep.
So the idea is that the pelvis should be in neutral, as if you had a teacup and saucer and it could just sit on your bikini line there.
Sure.
So you can feel with the heels of your hands if it is running parallel to the ground. And now we can assess the rest of the spine. So I slide my fingers underneath your low back, and I can feel that it does extend past your like towards your bra. Okay. So your rib cage fans quite widely open. So if I were to encourage you to just drop it slightly down, you'll feel that curve in your low back shortens.
Yes, definitely.
So now we connect to the floor here, and your low back curve is just a bit more shallow.
Yes, so that's bringing my lower back more into contact.
But it doesn't need to touch.
No.
It mustn't. It must still have the belly button pulling up towards the ceiling. So pick up your belly button for me, arching your and then drop your ribs without you tucked your butt. Did you see?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. So you want to drop the ribs down without changing the pelvis's position.
Oh, that's difficult.
Yes.
That's really difficult.
So when we say, because some of the cues, which are super confusing for people, but I want to try and get clarity around them. When some people use the imagery of a blueberry in your low back, it's because you don't want to squash it and put blueberry juice on your mat. And you need enough space to house it, and you don't want to go too high off of it. So it really is just a shallow little space, and the space can't go long because then you've lost your upper back's connection, and it actually affects your diaphragm, which coincidentally attaches to the back where you feel that like tweakiness from the front of the spine, though. So it attaches on those vertebrae. So we always want to make sure that the top of our core, the diaphragm, has good recoil and good tone and has a good resting shape. And right now your ribs are quite splayed. So we do need to get that to rib. And when we do that, I'm not sure if you felt it, but the shoulders completely change. So it's this knock-on effect, right? So we got to start down here. Fix your pelvis, push your pubic bone between your thighs for me. Correct your rib cage, dropping it. Now fix your shoulders, dropping them down. Yes. Okay.
That feels quite forced.
Yes, because there's tightness in your body.
Right, okay.
And so you bullying yourself into this neutral.
Okay.
It does not feel natural. We want it to feel natural.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we want to get there. So then we go, okay, what is it actually? Right. So we need sternal depression exercises that are going to get you to drop your chest and get strength in these muscles. We need pec stretching so that you don't get roped in.
Yes.
And you actually need this awareness of the pelvis not to respond, because as soon as we do your ribs, do your tail lifted. Yeah. So you're going to need to get strength. Arch your back a little bit more and drop your bum bones into the ground. Can you feel how hard it is to actually like have pressure there?
Yes.
So that you need to connect there with the back of your body as well. Okay. So have a heavy tail. You know, when we do the footwork on the reformer, and when your feet are in the air, so lift one leg to tabletop, lift the other leg to tabletop. When the legs are in the air, sometimes it pulls your bum off the ground.
I really work at not letting that happen.
Yes.
Really, especially like for hip work.
Yes.
Yes.
So that's one of the ways you constantly training, trying to keep the tail heavy.
Yes.
Yeah. Lower one leg, lower the other leg. When we do the footwork and your legs push away, people generally clench their bums and push away. It's like this, like effort must come from the back of the body. Meanwhile, we want a long, crispy coccyx. So if you keep your crispy coccyx longer. So don't tuck them, untuck them. Yes. Lift one leg to tabletop. Keep your coccyx down. Lift the other leg to tabletop. Bend the knees in a little bit more. Okay. And you want to keep that. Imagine that your coccyx is like tempered chocolate and it's thin. And I don't want you to think of your spine as brittle, but we don't want it to tuck.
Right. Okay.
And if you were to push with effort into my hands away, some people use their bums and they go like that. Okay. So lower one foot, lower the other foot, and relax. Let's do a bridge. It's not a pelvic curl. Okay. Let's lift your hips off the floor. And then when you come down slow. Okay, you naturally curl. Can you feel?
Yes. I feel that I've got a flat spot on my spine, which I think is old injury. So I feel that when I'm here, and I sort of feel like I kind of articulate to about there, and then I've got a flat bit, and then the rest comes. So it's not a consistent curl.
Yes. So there's merit in doing the curl because you're learning to move segmentally. But there's also an issue that might come about where people only do the curl. I need to see if you can come down without curling down. Lift up your bum.
Curling.
Yes.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you want me to come up?
And then when you go down, get to the end of your bum. Don't land on your back without curling.
Is that what you meant?
Yeah. Let's do it again.
So up.
And then come down. How does it feel?
That feels fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's go one more time. Knit your ribs down towards one another. Keep your quads or your knees closer. So it's going to feel like it's stretching your quads and working your inner thigh.
Yep.
Knit those ribs for me. And then when you come down, let's land on the end of your tailbone. And I want you to keep that hollow in your low back. So come down. Good. Well done. Lift up your hips again. Okay, so you don't have to touch your knees. Okay. Just keep them fist width apart. Twist your pelvis to one side. So rotate and then come down, land on that bum. Yes, keep the knees parallel to one another. So open the left one and then go up. Turn your pelvis. Twist it like this. Keep the knees parallel to one another. Go down. And then go up. Rotate. And go down. And up. How does it feel in your body?
I'm feeling it here. And it's obviously keeping the knees. Now I understood what you were saying about the knees.
Yes. Do you feel your spine veering off to the right?
Yes.
So let's do it again. Don't let your spine change from the middle of the mat. So there was a line in the middle of the mat, which it actually is. You're going to stay on that middle of the mat. So you rotate your pelvis.
Yeah.
And then you must drop down with your spine
like
still
that.
in the middle.
Ah, okay. I was doing it. I was trying to roll over. And
then rotate. you've got to go a little bit more to your left. And then rotate. That one, you've got to go a little bit more to your right.
So come
to that, yeah. And then that one. So both sides need a different rule.
Okay.
So you're living too much on me with your pelvis, but it's just interesting. So you're biasing towards lowering yourself like close to me. Your body wants to live here.
So when I'm here and then I tilt,
you come to me too much.
You want me to come round and down, or just straight down with the bum? Like, so not a roll over, just straight. Okay.
Yeah, it's such a cool exercise actually, because it's making your spine. Do you feel like it's making your hips go deep in their sockets and making your spine twist on itself? Yes, but no change in there. Good.
Okay, so yes, easier that feels easier that side.
Yes. Now, okay, that's cool. Go down the middle, because you might be overcorrecting. That's good.
Feels more twisted when I go to the right.
Yes, it's different.
Yeah. Okay, interesting.
And come down the center. Right, let's get you in your 4-point kneeling position.
Okay.
We're looking for neutral in 4-point kneeling. So we want those natural curves. Now, you don't have a curve in your low back right now. How the asks of being on your hands and your knees have led you to be quite flat on your back. I don't know if you can feel it. So you're going to need to stick out your belly button and thread your pubic bone between your thighs more. Yes. And turn on the fillets. Get them engaged. And drop this section a little bit more. Pick up your tailbones. Not by tucking, but by sticking them out. Yeah, expose them. Okay, and I don't know if you feel, it's still quite flat here.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got to work on getting better curvature just in this section.
Okay.
So if you can, just keep making your neck long off your shoulders without nodding your chin, just long. And then stick out your bum even more and let's see what happens. Does it hurt you at all?
Nope.
Okay, lift the bum bones. Yeah. So it's fine. It's just hard for you to do it even anymore. Like this is your max, eh?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And then you're going to keep pressing your hands into the floor so that there's roundness here. So that's your neutral pelvis.
Okay.
The lumbar spine likes to be on top, the bones on top of one another. It doesn't arch a lot. So I'd like to work on that. You're going to look down, tuck your tail, yes, and then untuck your tail. And tuck your tail. It's probably because you've been tucking your tail at gym all this time. Hey?
Yes.
And then untuck. Do you have any fear or concerns about arching that low back?
No.
Okay.
No, it doesn't give me any pain at all.
Good.
No.
And then do 3 more where you tuck and untuck. Good. And so we're getting nice curvature of the whole spine. Could we splint the top back? So you're not allowed to move this section and you're going to just pull, and then untuck. And last one. Good. Tuck your toes underneath you and float your knees a centimeter off the floor. Keep your neutral. Can you tuck and untuck here? And then untuck. Oh, I like that for you. And then untuck. Oh, I felt a little clickety-click.
Really?
Yeah. Last one. And untuck. Great. Lower just your right knee. Keep your left knee in the air. Now keep that distance between the thighs like we did on the mat. Change your legs. So you come up and you swap. Good. And then you swap. And so we're getting rotation in the lumbar spine. Getting a feeling of slurping the hips. I'm glad you're nice and strong. So this might not be for everybody. Okay. It's appropriate for you. Alternative, let's do one more. And then come all the way down, is take a seat facing that way. And then take your arms out in front of you for me and come up into a squat. Yeah.
So how high?
Not very high. Yes. And then you're going to trace one bum cheek back. So you'll twist one kneecap back and then the other. So you do a movement like this, but you're in a squat.
Show me again. And where are you generating the movement from? Your hip?
So I use my glute to pull it back,
Yeah.
but then the movement is felt in my lumbar spine.
Okay.
Okay, so arms out in front of you. Right, pull back, yes, and then the other one. Good. So you slurp it back with your bum.
Yeah.
And then you pull back with your bum. That's it. And last one. And relax.
So what is that doing?
So we're wanting to try and almost pepper grind your low back.
Okay.
We want to try and get more mobility in your lumbar spine.
Right. Okay.
So by getting your hips back, we're going to try and loosen up that low back and see if it relieves that section of your, almost like your quadratus lumborum, or it could be your serratus posterior muscles and some of your back muscles that are up the bones of your back that go into cramp when you either overflare both ends or you realize you need to stretch that section.
Okay.
It's cramping. And there's a discrepancy between your right side and your left side in that muscle bulk. So by adding more rotations, I want to turn on your multifidus and I want to get you to have a little bit more movement in your low back and I need the ribs to drop down without sternal depression.
Right.
So that's what we're wanting to do. Do you feel you understand neutral pelvis?
I think so. And it's quite different, particularly in all fours, quite different to what I thought it was. The difficulty, as we've seen today, laying on my back, is getting my ribs to come.
Yeah.
And because you need weight in two places, but without arching or curving, so that's one to work on.
Yes, and as soon as we flipped you over onto your tummy for the 4-point kneeling, your low back couldn't curve as much as it felt like it did when gravity wanted to open your ribs. So the ribs are hiding a lot of your stiffness in your like mid to lower back.
So I've got to work at mobilizing that section. Oh well.
That's okay. We live and we learn.
Absolutely.
So as long as every time you're in a class and someone says something, it can land, and then you start to stack more and more information, and you have a light bulb moment followed by another light bulb moment, and then it just adds on to your knowledge and your comforts and your progress.
Yes.
Get you results.
Absolutely. Practice makes perfect.